is on. Have I not shared it? Are you not seeing it? No, 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 wait. Why is it not sharing? Because you're watching me on Teams, right? No problem, but still you can watch it over there as well, right? It's not required because what's, yeah, I'm recording. I'll give you the recording. I know what you're saying, but I'm recording my own screen, so this, you will get that. Okay, so am I audible? Yeah, good. So right at the beginning, I talked about the uh, front end and so the pen. I talked about the front end, right? So you see, on front end, we are going to make an app using the UI5 framework. Right? And uh, and there is a backend, and there is a backend that makes a connection to the front end, right? And then it sends a request, and it gets a response. It gets a response, right? And this is how the backend and front end are connected. And now, when you make an app using UI5 framework, so basically, think it should be something like this, like you are making an app using HTML. HTML. Okay, simple, as simple as that, right? Uh, HTML. And once you use the tags using HTML, finally, you need to connect to a backend, right? And this backend is called as on-prem. Okay, on-prem. That means on-premise. On-premise. So what exactly is this on-premise? This on-premise basically is there is a company. There is a company. Let's call company A for which you're working. I mean, say for which a client, a client. Okay. Now this client has got a server. This client has got a server. All right. This client has got a server, and you are connected to the client server for getting the request and response. And as I said that for the making of the front end, if you are not accustomed to the thing that is called as UI5 framework, leave it for now, right? Think it to be something like HTML that you're working with. You're making tags and whatever tags you're using to make it, and then you're trying to connect it to the server. This is what I'm saying, right? When you work on UI5, then you will come to know what UI5 basically is, right? So think for now, think it to be HTML, and you know what HTML is, right? Okay, fine. So then you're connected to the company server, and but the problem is that you are sitting in Capgemini. You are sitting in your own company. That's Cap Gemini, and uh, and like now the no problem, but still screen is getting reported, I suppose. And somebody also said, like there is a functionality in the um, Teams to record the video, but I don't see it. Okay, so After this recording, if somebody help me with that recording from the Teams, then I'll try to do that as well. Okay, so you're working in Capgemini. Okay, now here also right now you're connected to a server, but when you're working on a live project, so sitting over here on your laptop, you are connected to whose server now? Right now. But when you're working in a live project, client server, of course. You see, let's say there's a person A, there's a person, call me Danish. Okay, I'm the person, and I don't work for Capgemini. I'm a freelance. I'm a freelance, right? And let's say I'm also working for this company A. Okay, I'm sitting inside my home. Okay, complete. Okay, over here. I'm sorry. This is what it is. I'm sitting over here, and also I'm also accessing the company's A server, right? Sitting in Capgemini, you're also accessing company's A server. So, it's very much like I, being a freelance, connected to this server. You also sitting over here, connected to some kind of, safe mode like VPN or something you're using. You are connected to company's A server. And in company's A server, inside its building or premise, there is something called as a server room, a big room where it has got so many technical stuffs in it, like RAM and hard disk and so many things, right? And whatnot, many technical stuffs that actually stores the data in it, company's data, and not only it stores the data, it's capable of even talking to any outside um, system, right? So you see, I made this server room over here. I made this server. And then what I did is that, you see, I also think it to be simply like a hard disk, okay? A disk that can store the data, right? Where in company A's premise, okay? In company's A's premise, you have got these hard disks with RAMs and other capabilities, all right? And then the company thought, I've got a big space like this, the one that you see of hard disks and RAMs and all. What it did is that it partitioned it, right? It partitioned. You see, so there's the partition A, B, C, D, right? So simply you can think it to be like you have got a computer where you have got a C drive, B drive, A drive, D drive, whatever drives you have in the computer, right? Think it to be like that. And then suppose when you connect to the backend, so now this is company's A's server room, which you're connected to. So which are you connected to? A, B, C, D. Depends upon, what level are you in. So let's say I'm connected to company's A's, and that could be called as a sandbox server, right? A sandbox server. And you're connected in that you can do a lots of researches, experiments, and mistakes and learning stuff. You can do that. So, and then you go into the development server, and then you go to the, quality server, and finally you go into the production server, right? This is how it is. Now, let's say you're working on A or B or C, whatever you're working on. So it's much the same. And in that also, the A part, I'm saying, in the A part over here, uh, let's make it into two parts again, right? And one would be the gateway server that you are accustomed to, right? You must have heard about the gateway server. So let's say this is the gateway server, this part, which I'm shading over here. This part is the gateway server. In that one, right? So that's called the gateway server, not a separate machine. I made the same partition over there in the same, let's say this one part. I just, you know, uh, I'm using this part, and I just made a partition over here, and Not like a separate machine, one machine over here, one machine at some other place, right? One machine, like one hard disk you can think of, right? I just made a partition in it. This is called as embedded system. So many of the companies right now prefer embedded also. Like they don't want to invest in for a separate space for the gateway, so they just made the embedded system where they're using the same space, and they call that as a client. So let's say this is my client 100. So the companies those use many of the times when you go into live project, you see you will see that many a times these machines are two separate machines, not one, and they call that as a hub, right? Hub. So now your gateway is over here, and your backend server is over here. All your T codes, T codes, those you use uh, are those are pertinent to the backend T codes, like sales order and purchase orders and those things. Those are there in the backend, and the gateway T codes, those you use, are there in the front end. So this is the gateway server over here, and these are connected through a thing called as remote function call, that is called as RFC. At least you need a connectivity. So at that time, uh, where is your request and response going? Your request and response is going to this part, right? Right? So let's say the same thing happens to the B also. Same thing happens to the C also and D also. All right? Uh, you're getting the point, aren't you? You're getting the point, aren't you? Okay. Okay, fine. Slow means I should speak slow or tell slow. Okay, fine. Um, Before that, let me just ask you some questions. Like, you have the idea of front end, the back end, right? Have you heard about the server? Do you know about on-prem? Do you know about cloud? Means heard about it or you know about it? Heard about it. Okay, that's good. Fine. So what basically I'm saying, the moment we use the thing called a server and those things, it becomes a big term like we are into some kind of very sophisticated system that has got so many more things to do, and because our mind is preoccupied with those ideas of server, a complex machine, and which is why things get confusing. What basically I'm saying is that one computer is connected to the other computer. You know, so can I use my computer as a server? And the answer is yes. I can use my system, this thing, my laptop, right? So can't you think when your front end, let's say you made an app over there on your computer, and my computer is just a hot machine, right? And you are connected to my machine. And if I configure my machine in such a way that you can connect to it, and it is possible, I'm saying, it is possible, right? But for that, I have to keep my computer 24 by 7 on. And if I switch it off, uh, then if you try to connect to my computer, then you will get some error message, right? In the same way, what I'm saying is that a company, since it's a company, it should have something that should be a bit robust, a big thing, right? And it's got more spaces in it so that it could, handle, a lot of data connectivity, back and forth data connectivity, storing data and those things. So when I made a partition over here, what I actually am thinking in my mind is that this part over here, you can see that this part over here, in my mind, there is a big computer like this. That's a laptop, but a big one, right? This big laptop has got fragments inside it, A, B, C, D. And I've made the fragments A, B, C, D. Why? Because that's a requirement. Let's say, um, how does the company work then? It gives the requirements to uh, to uh, to Hoover, maybe Capgemini. Let me just give you the scenario. What exactly is happening? Company A is somewhere in the planet, let's say in Bangladesh, okay? And Even in India, let's say in India also, because right now, some days back, this red tape has implemented this SAP into a system. So somehow, this red tape, let me give the example of red tape. This company is my red tape. You know, red tape is a company. Okay. Okay. So this company, it came to know about SAP. And when it came to know about SAP, and this is the ERP system, Enterprise Resource Planning System, and somebody who are supposed to, give them the brief about what SAP is, because let's say I'm a new company, I don't know about SAP. I'm working, let's say I'm Oracle, something else before that, some other ERP system. Okay. But I got a tip from somebody like, see, if you use the SAP system, it would be better for your company because it has got more functionalities in it. It's more sophisticated, more robust, you know, easy to handle. So somebody came from SAP, I don't know, maybe from Germany, maybe from here, any SAP office, or whoever the person is, who are supposed to implement those things. So uh, then they give me, I'm red tape right now, right? So I got a brief from them. I said, oh yeah, SAP is a good thing, right? SAP is a good thing. So fine, I want to implement it. So then, implementing means what? Putting the softwares, because I already have the hardwares. Because you see, the hardwares already there. This part is already there. I have the hardwares. So the only thing that requires is installing the softwares. Am I clear up to this point? Any question? Good. So then I need to contact somebody who could help me implement these kinds of SAP related stuff, ERP systems into my server. All right. Now, uh, then I will come to know that so many companies in India are responsible for implementing the SAP related services, right? Then somebody from Red Table contact Captain. Okay. And then the Capgemini people will talk to Red Tape because we can implement, means Capgemini can implement uh, these services. Like, for example, if you want to install the AC, right? Let's say the AC is the Samsung AC. So, do you think a person from Samsung comes and install the AC? They just provide you the system. So, in the same way, there is an ERP system provided by SAP, but SAP doesn't come and install those things into your server, right? Then who comes? So there must be somebody who should know about these ERP systems, and so I should contact. So Red Tape should contact somebody. So then they also come to know that there are companies, a lot of companies that do those things, those installations and understanding of the whole scenario. Because why you need an understanding of everything over here is, see, the company is already having a lot of data. There is already a pre-installed system, all right? And all of a sudden, I just can't go and install the things. First, I need to understand means somebody from Capgemini. Okay, let me come back to Capgemini. So Recep contacted Capgemini, and then Capgemini said, "Yeah, we do that. Fine. So come and visit our company." So a team will go from here, and they will sit over here, try to understand the system. Okay, how they work, because there must be somebody inside the company who are already accustomed to some kind of front end or some kind of UI that they're already into. So let's say when I say you're already into some kind of a UI, by that I mean to say, let's say you're working on you're on Android phone, right? That's an UI, and all of a sudden somebody comes with a different technology. Let's say the Apple phones, right? It's got a different technology. So iOS. So what will you do with that? Okay, see, I'm having a bit of a trouble, handling it because the UI is not the same, the interface is different, and many things are different. And unless you spend some time on the Apple on iPhones, then you will get accustomed to it, right? So in the same way, it's the same thing actually. So then they come over there and they try to understand the needs and they figure out how they can transfer the data. because the company is already working with one set of data that's already in the production. They already have they just can't overnight tell, okay, Capgemini, since we have the SAP, just transfer all the things into the new system. No, these because it will take time to do these things, and by that time, what do you think that, how will the company work then? So many transactions related to so many things, sales order, purchase order, the finance department, and those things, right? Who's going to do that? So very slowly these things happen. Okay. So finally, let's say finally, SAP was installed in it in Capgemini server, right? By so many researchers and all. So now the things are here. The data, uh, the data is now there, but in a new kind of software, ERP system. Correct? Correct? Nope. Yeah. Yes or no? Just have a holistic idea, right? You're not going to go over there and do it right away, right? It will take time. Uh, because once people have the experience of doing it, then they go with a research team and do those kind of things. Now, you as a front end developer, let's say, uh, uh, what happened? Yeah, so okay. So now you as a front end developer, let's say the ERP system is over there. The ERP system is over there, and so as soon as it switches off, please switch it on quickly. Okay, thank you. So I was saying about like, see now the ERP is installed over here. Now somebody, please, somebody from the company A now, or Red Tape. Okay, my company A is Red Tape. Okay, so we'll call Capgemini. Things are done. It's now 1 year or so have passed now, and there is a requirement that we need an app. We need an app for our for a sales order, let's say, or for any requirement, let's say for making a leave request, making a purchase order app, or making approvals, these kind of app, right? So then what this red tape will do, since the first time Capgemini was the company that helped ERP system installed it over here. So what red tape will do? It will again, it might, not necessarily, it should be like that. It can even call some other company, maybe Wipro or Accenture or whoever the company could be, IBM, these companies, right? So let's say Capgemini give a very good performance. So again, it contacted Capgemini and said that there is a requirement. All right, somebody please. Okay, if you have any problem, you can just let me know. Like, how will I know there is a problem? Okay, so the requirement came. So somebody from that team lead will try to understand the requirement, and then the team lead will come and brief you about these are the requirements. And possibly he will come and say that, see, um, a requirement has come, and you are supposed to perform certain things. You have to make a UI screen. You have to make a UI screen which will have an input field over here and a label over here and an input field over here and a label over here, and you have to give a button over here, right? And then if you press the button, then the data should go to the backend, and you might get some kind of response from the backend as well, right? A very small requirement, right? A label, an input field, label, input feed, and it could grow even bigger with more UI functionalities into it, right? So it doesn't matter how big the functionalities are or small it is, but this is what you'll brief you, and then you will start working on it by trying to understand, okay, the label and the input field, what should be the label, what should come into input field, and those things will ask questions, and your team lead will tell, right? Just a simple thing. And then you need a connectivity to the server also, right? Whose server now? Whose server are you going to connect? Huh? Which company server? Capgemini company server. Nope. No. Red tapes. Because now, although you're sitting over here, but you are connected to the red tapes because everything now you're going to do will be on the red tape server, right? Red tape server. It's same the way you're working with a server over here. You'll be working with some kind of a server that is somewhere else, maybe in US, maybe in England, maybe in India, in Bangladesh, wherever. Doesn't matter, okay? But then you should know that you're working on red tape server now. And everything that you do would be done on the red tape server. Let's say you started working on the sandbox level, the first level, where you're going to do some researches and try to understand and show it to the client. See, this is what I have done. But so let's say no. See, the problem is like when I say when you're working at home, then you think it to be different from working over here, right? Right over here. So you need to be very sure of it, whether you're working from the company or you're working from home, doesn't matter. You're connected to red tape server. Is that thing clear to you? Doesn't matter, right? So coming over here and working, you think, there is some different kind of things going on. I don't know, you think or not. This is what I assume you think, right? Okay, so you're wherever you are inside Capgemini or outside Capgemini, you are on red tapes, right? So the requirement came and using the UI5. See, once again, I'm saying you're using UI5 framework. Using UI5 framework, okay? You are building the app. That gets deleted. You're building the app. And what I said UI5 to be is using HTML, right? Something like, everybody knows over here what HTML is and CSS and those things. So think it to be like that only, you know, uh, you made an app, but, uh, you know, uh, uh, this company, what this company said is that, no, we don't want to spend time in making the app, UI5 app, because it is time consuming, right? One app takes a lot of time to be completed because so many briefings would be there. And one more thing before going into the other part of the story. So you are here, you made the app, and after making the app, how will Red Tape know that the app is there? It has been made, although it's on the server, but there should be a place where Red Tape can access it, can see it, all right? So what you will do is that you will deploy this app. You will deploy this app to a place called as, it gets deleted on its own. I don't deploy this app to a place called as Launchpad. Fiori Launchpad. Think Fiori Launchpad to be a place, a common place where all the apps for the company resides, right? So you're putting it in some kind of a place where it could be accessible, uh, uh, where it is accessible, all right? Some kind of a portal, some kind of a site, right? So let's say right now it is local to the server space, but then there is a place also. First, it is local to your machine. Forget going into even to the red tape server. Let's say when I make an app on my machine, here on my machine, it is not into like, because my labels are here, my input fields are here, you know, in my tool, let's say VS Code, it's there. Did it go into company server right now? No, unless you put that in company server, it doesn't go over there. All right. So, so what you do is that once the thing is done, you think now the app looks good. Okay, the this press button is working properly, and the thing that those are input into the input fields are properly, working. And the OData connectivity is also done. OData connectivity is not like something like you're putting the app in somebody's server. It's just a connectivity, OData connectivity. Okay, HTTP connectivity. So through that connectivity, data is coming and going. But now I have to even pack these things and everything that I've done and push it to the company server, right? Right? And then you are going to do everything. You need to you need to enter some T codes, and then from there you would put it in such a place inside the company server that is for the launch pad, where maybe the vice president or the president or the manager, whoever the person who is, can see it, right? Putting it in a right place, all right? So this part is called as deployment. This part is called as you deploy the app and also make the launch pad things, right? Right? You deployed the app. Up to this point, uh, am I clear? Any confusion of any sort? Any confusion of any sort? Are you sure? All right. But what happened is that this is the company called as Red Tape. Okay. So it said, okay, wait. It said, don't do like that. Do one thing. Uh, can you give me a pre-built app? A pre-built app? Pre-built app? So what is this pre-built app? So if you go to a place, let me just show it to you. Fiori apps library, right? If you go to this place and you see, so there are apps over here, kinds of all apps. You see that? It is saying it's the apps are for S/4HANA, private cloud, public cloud, and more things over there, right? Uh, so if you go inside it, and let's say I went to the private cloud on premise, okay? So here you can select the app by different parameters, like you can go for all apps by line of business, by industry, by roles. So you can go over there by roles. And let's see, so many apps have opened up. You see that? Pre-built apps. So let me just show it to you. I just click randomly on any of the apps. And do I see it? Let me see. Okay, you see that? Uh, this is how the app looks like. Pre-built app, right? So why? Don't try to get into the nitty-gritties of it and try to understand everything in one shot. First, try to understand the holistic part of it. Because if you don't understand the holistic part, you will get confused by the terms, right? But if you have those holistic part, well defined in your brain, then these things will automatically fit. No, so you won't have to take a lot of pain to understand, right? So there's a pre-built app. Try to understand the requirements. The pre-built app and this app you see over here, right? This is how it looks like. So maybe this is the one I was looking for, right? Maybe this is the one I was looking for. So, so my team lead will tell me go to this app, and there is an app ID 53664. Configure it. Configure it. So you will come over here and maybe by the app name also. Uh, this app name also, he will just provide you with the app name, display journal entries into your account view, right? And you will come over here and you will configure it. When I say configure it, by that I mean to say make it functional. Make it functional. It's here in some kind of a space. You see Fiori apps library. You understand? Make it functional. So see, there could be lots of questions coming to your mind, or maybe not. I don't know. Well, how can you access these sites? Are these sites accessible to everybody, or these sites accessible only to the person working on for red tape? So the thing is that it's accessible to everybody, but everybody can't configure it. You can see something, but you can't do anything about it, right? So think it to be this thing to be a completely built app. Everything is there, and minor changes are possible also into it. Not a lot of changes, but then you can just ask Red Tape to take a look at it, and maybe he might like it or he might not like it. For that, you need to go into its implementation information, how you can put this app again to the launchpad. This app will go into the launchpad finally, but you don't have to make this app. See this, you see the difference, what I'm saying? First time you made the app from the scratch by putting the label and the input and the table and drop down and whatnot, right? Here you did not do anything. You just need to, since the app is already made over here, so you just went for the information. Those are there in it. You went for these kind of components. Those are, you need to see if your S/4HANA system, your ERP system is, has these prerequisites so that it could take that app, right? Maybe you're using an ECC system, the ERP system that was used before S/4HANA when company did not switch to some kind of, like a more sophisticated system. So they used ECC, right? So maybe it's not suitable for ECC. So all the technical informations you can find over here, whether it is suitable for what, because you see, I went at the first place to S/4HANA private cloud and premise. So it says that this is suitable for S/4HANA private and on-prem, both, right? And then you go into the front-end components. When you go into the app, you found the app and the app was there. You see, I found the app, then I need to go even more into it, into my technical component part front end. So basis team will check that these things like the support package and these software component version are pre-installed into the S/4HANA backend system or not. All right. You don't have to do it. Sometimes you can do that. I don't know if you're part of the basic team or you won't. But there are certain, if you see a certain parts, those you have to work on. Like you can see over here, there is an OData service. You see, finance, accounting, impact SRV. So OData service means there is a table, and that could be exposed through OData. So how did you activate the OData service? And you remember, right? You went to first you made whatever table in the things, and then you went to the T code IWFND made service, and there you added it as a service. Remember, you did that. Okay, you did that. In the same way, you'll go and try to activate this also. Now your auditor service is ready, and then you also add, the path to the ICF nodes so that this is how you're going to do that and configure it finally, and then you will also be provided with more configurations finally to put that on the launchpad. Whatever steps you do to put that in some kind of a place, that's called the launchpad. So these semantic objects, target mappings, technical catalogs, business catalogs, and then groups and roles, and these things are there in it so that this app can be made to sit on a place that is called as the launchpad. And then the red tape person would be told that, yeah, you can go and take a look at it. Then he goes to the launchpad and takes a look at it and says, fine, I'm happy with this app. Can you do these small little changes in it? You'll say, fine, you as a Capgemini employee, right? We'll say, fine, working on whose server, red tape server, right? Where did you install? Put these apps, red tape server, right? Red tape personnel checked it out, said, okay, and we want a little bit of changes in it. Okay. To say, yeah, fine, these are enabling, disabling, or showing some more fields, less fields are possible, but not a lot of things are possible into it. Okay. So, so finally you put that app and did some changes, and then you call that as adaptation project, right? Adaptation app is there, then you adapted it to the company's requirement to a certain level, not to a large extent. Okay, okay. So these are all built on Fiori guidelines. These are all built on Fiori. Of course, Fiori must have used UI5 framework to make it, but these are pre-built apps built on Fiori guidelines. Okay, Fiori provides some guidelines and this is how the app should be, and they are built, pre-built app, right? There's another thing that is called as Fiori templates. That means Fiori templates when you go to BAS, because first we'll be working on Web ID, then you will go to BAS, and then you will see templates over there, and then we'll start speaking like, yeah, we have worked on templates. We are not working on templates, but I'll tell you what templates are. Templates are like a skeleton already provided to you, a skeleton already provided. And but the OData, let's say you make an OData, like the way you have made, and you can consume it in some kind of uh, no painstaking uh, stuff that you have to undergo, where you have to build a everything from the scratch, but still you get the skeleton to work on it. And then you just connect it to the OData. Again, very similar to what I said right now. You see that? Is it confusing? So right now you said about these pre-built apps. Now you're talking about some other kind of a thing there where you get those things, those Fiori elements. Certain Fiori elements that you should be knowing of. Let me just come back to this thing. So I went to Fiori apps library. I configured the app. Two things. See, I went to Fiori apps library. I configured the app. Write it down. Another slide. So the first step, I went to Fiori apps library. Second, configured the app. So these terms that I'm using, configured the app, you'll be hearing it. Okay. Uh, what it means, made it uh, made it use ready. Configuring is like that, so that it could be used, right? This is what I did. And then put that on Launchpad, right? What's the Launchpad? A place to uh, visit the app, right? For whom? For anybody who has got the permission, for let's say for Red Tape, for the client. I won't really write the names of the company over here, so that's not good. So I'll say for the client. You have to remember the thing client over here, because client are used in so many places. Like even when you work on some kind of a server, you must have seen when you go to the S4HANA LS4, whatever server you've been using, you saw a client name written over there, is right? You remember 100 client, yeah? So here the client means the client. Many a times client is like gives a lot of information. Like um, client could be your company that you're working for. Client could be the laptop also. You know that client is a laptop is a client, mobile is a client. How many of you knew it? Just raise your hands. Laptop is a client. I just want to see the hands. Laptop is a client. Simply, mobile is a client. So nobody knew it, right? No problem. Right now, you understand a client over here is the red tape I'm talking about, okay? So that's the client, and we put that, and it could be seen over there. So let's call this visiting Fiori Apps Library, okay? And I said there's other things that you could do. Then make a new slide, and I'll call this one as Fiori Elements. Fiori Elements. These are, what are these? What are these? These are templates. These are templates for making apps, for making front-end apps. Here you are doing some more things inside it using the template. What examples? Examples of Fiori apps like list report. Then you have got the work list app. Then you have got master detail and also the plain UI5 that we'll be learning. UI5 apps. Okay, so for this, we don't get a template actually, but for list report, work list app, master detail, and then you have got more thing like overview pages. Not very much use overview pages now. So see, the point that is actually uh, conflicting the one that I discussed a short while ago, like so you told right now about the pre-built apps, those were there in the Fiori apps library. Now, what are these things then? These Fiori apps we're talking about. These are templates, and these templates could be used to connect to an OData service, and you can perform those CRUD operations on it, not to a large extent, but get operations are possible with these list report, work list app, master detail screen, and those things. And the one that I talked about, UI5, this one uses the UI5 framework where you have got the full control. So what level of control do we have in these list report, work list app, master detail, and those things? In the master detail screen, again, you have got some control, but in list report, that is completely based on CDS views. Okay, if you have a CDS view, then possibly you can make a list report app